Hello guys, welcome back to another weather video. In today's video we're going to be updating you guys on the 2023 hurricane season. Now this is a pre-forecast, meaning that everything is not right. This is just a prediction. My official forecast for the 2023 hurricane season is going to be released late April along with the National Weather Service National Hurricane Center. So you guys can see this is our 2023 hurricane names, and you guys can see, as you guys can see, 4 of them have been replaced with Harvey, Irma, Maria, and Nate, with these storms making catastrophic damage to the United States in the last 20 years. So you guys can see these are our names. It does stop at W, which is typical, and then we go into the Greek alphabet after this. The only hurricane season that has happened the Greek alphabet is the 2020 season and the 2005 hurricane season. So looking at that, we have a lot to talk about with the El Nino, La Nino. That's going to be a big key factor for the Atlantic and Pacific hurricane season, along with California, determining if you guys are going to get a lot of rain this summer or springtime, which can cause a lot of flooding for parts of California and Arizona and New Mexico. So no further ado, let's get started with today's video. And guys, before we get started with today's video, I don't like asking this, but make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share this video. Make sure you follow my socials. That's down below in the comments and the description. So here you guys go. Right here, this is going to be skip for now. As you guys can see, this is on Twitter. I did watch a video off this. It's pretty cool. So you guys can see that this is going to be December, January, February, where we're in a La Nino year, or La Nino right now, which is typical. Now, as we keep going into January, February, March, we're still in that La Nino phase. But what is interesting, very interesting, is that once we hit February, March, April, which we're in this phase right now, this is the phase we're in, the La Nina has calmed down significantly down to a 27% chance. As you guys can see, based on 0.5 plus 0.5 C, like I said, it has significantly dropped, and we can see that for next, probably until August, we're going to start seeing a neutral phase, which now what this is going to mean is that the Atlantic and the Pacific are really going to be the same, really, where we're not going to have too much moisture. In fact, I totally forgot to go over that real fast. So pretty much with a El Nino or La Nino, pretty much all that jet stream, the warmer temperatures are in here, more moisture and more dry air is stuck in the Atlantic, which makes it hard for storms to come through. And El Nino is pretty much where Pacific, the Atlantic, is more warm, suitable for hurricanes, and suitable for nice moisture air. Now if you go down here to the Pacific area, right in here, that's where 2020 hurricane season, we're in a El Nino phase. As you guys can see right in here, La Nina we're in right now. But coming up to the months, we're talking about an El Nino that's going to be, of course this is not going to be going up as much because we're still far out from that total right now. But as we get closer to these months, around January, wow, not January, but June, August, September, and then August, September, October, these are going to start going up more like that blue right there. Obviously, it's going to be more for December, January, February. Of course, we're going to be at 100%, close to it at least, because we're right now just past it. So like I said, as we keep getting closer to these months right now, we're currently going to see that go up slowly, and I think we're going to have an El Nino year, which, be prepared, we're going to have a busy hurricane season for the Atlantic and the Pacific. It's probably going to cool down. You guys are going to probably have a quiet season this year. Like I said, predictions, just everything we've been pointing at. We'll keep and show you guys later why we think that's going to be El Nino year. And you guys can see, it's going to be a neutral phase until we're talking about really until July. But after July, definitely we could see some hurricanes popping up. So here is the since 1850 when we were keeping tracks of hurricanes. So you guys can see, which is very interesting, is if you keep track of La Nino years, El Nino years, you can definitely see what years, and this is the Atlantic, not the Pacific, this is the Atlantic. So you can definitely see the more busier seasons where El Nino was and La Nina was. So you guys can see more as time progressed, as we kept keeping tracks of hurricanes, the more it went up. You can see around probably around 1875 is the first year, around that ballpark. 1885 is when we started keeping tracks of hurricanes officially. But you guys can currently see as 2005 is the highest of hurricane season ever, but 2020 is not up here, so 2020 would be right up there with the 2020 or 2005 season. It only stops at 2015. But what is curious, you can guys see is every good 4 years in between everything, you guys can see the lower numbers. So this is indicating that we have a La Nina year for the Atlantic every 3 to 4 years. And what's gonna happen is, you guys can see for the El Nino year, we're sometimes getting 4 to 5 years. So every 4 to 5 years we see a El Nino. For 4 to 5 years we see El Nino, and La Nina for every 3 to 4 years. For the Atlantic, like I said, that's just history. You know, you gotta look at history and determine. Well, it's already been basically almost 3 years since we've had a busy hurricane season in the Atlantic. So I just thought that was curious looking at that, and I thought that was pretty cool. So here we guys can go we can see this is above average in Celsius, the temperatures, but you guys can see the MDR region, we're about 1 Celsius above average, which you may seem like, oh, 1 Celsius not big deal. Well, in hurricane season, or hurricane terms, it is a very big deal for hurricanes. A 5-10 degrees can make a big difference for a storm during the Atlantic hurricane season. But now keep an eye out. What is very concerning for this hurricane season, and that's another reason why I think it's going to be really busy with the MDR region. Already, we're talking about a good 1 Celsius, 2 Celsius above average. But if you come over here and look at the Gulf of Mexico, look at the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about the whole entire Gulf of Mexico is a good 1 Celsius, 2 Celsius, 3 Celsius above average in some parts. You guys see most of it is 1 Celsius, but some of it is going towards 3 Celsius, towards the Texas area. And then you see the panhandle of Florida, we're talking about 3 to 4 Celsius above average. Now, just keep in mind, think about it. This is not a big deal right now, but when it comes to hurricane season, that 3 to 4 Celsius above average can make a big difference. Say a hurricane makes it off MDR. Well, MDRs are above average right now, which is going to cause it to have suitable conditions, favorable conditions, if there's no Sahara dust or any dry air in it. Say you don't have that. Say it goes in here, makes it into the Caribbean Sea, becomes a Category 3. Well, once it makes it into the Gulf of Mexico, it has a higher chance of becoming a Category 5 and hitting anywhere from the panhandle of Florida all the way up to Mexico. So like I said, these can make a big difference with the water temperatures. That right there just being that much up there. And you talk about up here in the north too. You guys can see we're down about 2 Celsius. So definitely most of the Atlantic is above average right now for the hurricane season. So that is another concerning thing. As long as we get the Bermuda High building in properly, that's going to cause a year to push in. Like I said, anywhere is possible for hurricane landfall. But now off the back, I think hurricanes are still going to pop off the MDR around August. So we still have some ways to go. Like I said, I'm going to make my predictions once the National Hurricane Center comes out with theirs. I don't like to put anything like that too soon. A lot of people like to do that, but I just don't like to do that because I find it very false advertising and just doing it for the views. But like I said, just looking at that real fast, I thought that was pretty interesting. So you guys can see right here, this is a good, and this is why I was saying normally hurricane season starts up around August. Now, if you look between August, right here between May, July, it's definitely possible to see a hurricane, and it has happened in history, to be honest. May is very unlikely, but June, it's more unlikely. You can see, we've had quite a few. This is tracking all the way from the last 100 years. If you're looking at it. And you guys see our busiest day of the hurricane season is September 10th. After September 10th, it starts going back down after that. But from starting June 20th is when the start of hurricane season. So you think about it, June 20th is around in this ballpark. So around when that spike starts up. But after June 20th, it slowly starts to go up, and then after September 10th, it goes back down. And here, I just want to look at this. This will be the last thing we look forward to hurricane season. So you guys can see these are the tracks for the, let's see. Zoom in a little bit. So you guys can see this is the tracks for, June. Like I said, you can see more likely, not most likely, more, likely. You guys see these are the tracks. You can see that the MDR region, it never comes off the MDR region. Ooh, let me get that out of your guys' way. But you guys can see really nothing off the MDR region. During June, we normally see something spin up in there. That's the typical around this time of year, or around the next 2-3 months. Going into July, you guys can start see we might have some stuff spinning off of the MDR region. Going in there, the Outer Banks is more likely to get hit during the June, at the July area, along with parts of Texas, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama, as the chances go up. Now, once you guys hit August, that's when the chances really go up for everyone. That's anywhere from Mexico all the way up to the north. You guys can see, let me get this out for you guys. You guys can see the more chances of hurricane forming in there is very more likely. Then you guys can see more of a chance of it going into the Gulf of Mexico is more likely, most likely. And you guys see it going towards the Outer Banks is most likely too. So like I said, as the hurricane season keeps going farther, like I said, in August, and if you look at the busiest month of the hurricane season, which is September, you guys see nothing but orange really for parts of the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, even for parts of the Bahamas, then the parts of the Outer Banks, North Carolina area, even parts of the front of Florida like Jacksonville or Myrtle Beach. Like I said, and then it slowly starts to go back down. October is still prone to that, but October is where the MDR starts to slow down during the October area. And then MDR becomes in the Caribbean Sea. So definitely interesting to see. Something you got to keep out on. Hurricane season is just around the corner. Just think about it. We're only about a good 70-80 days away from it. So that's be the wrap of the video today, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, like, share this video. Until next time.